What's good, guys? Today we're going to be doing something new. We're going to be breaking down some really cool trendy designs and seeing how they did it. We're going to be seeing how we could recreate this really rad metallical 3D chrome effect that I stumbled across on this really cool Instagram page from FXNT Nile while using just the Photoshop tool. Difficulty is super chill, and don't worry, I'll guide you through the whole process, so let's get to it. So the proper way to do this effect with more control for lighting and textures is by using a 3D software like Blender or Cinema 4D. But if we're just limited to Photoshop, let me show you how to do it. This designer already created this really cool bubbly text that we're going to recreate, and we're just going to outline it as quickly as possible. A quick tool that I do for tracing is the paintbrush tool. So we're just going to paint it really quickly, and as you can see, it's really rough. So we're going to go back and use the pen tool to clean things up and make it more perfect. So give me a quick second and we'll trace the whole thing. Alright, so let's open up Photoshop and set the dimensions to 2000 by 2000 pixels and the resolution to 150. Let's hit create, and then before we do anything else, let's go to Photoshop and let's go to preferences, and we're going to go to technology previews, and we're going to make sure that the deactivate native canvas is going to be checked. This is really important because if it's not checked, there's going to be some weird preview errors from the 3D side. So if it's not, make sure to check it and then restart your Photoshop so it works properly. So after we have that set, we're going to copy that artwork from Illustrator onto Photoshop as a smart object, and then we're going to open the 3D panel. So if you go to Windows 3D, it will come up, and we're gonna click on the 3D extrusion section, and then we're gonna hit create. Just from that, it's gonna give you this really matrixy looking diagram. And if you look on top, there's 4 different ways that you could rotate and preview this object. So the first one's gonna be from side to side, left and right. The second one is gonna be rotating it sideways. And the third one is up and down and moving it around. And the fourth one is going to be zooming in and out. So we're going to open up the properties window, and the 2 main windows that you want to have right next to your composition is 3D and property. From the properties window, we're going to uncheck cat shadows and cast shadows. And then we're going to set the extrusion depth to 0. What we want to do next is click on that third icon on the properties window, and then we're going to set the size to front and back, so the textures will be applied to both front and back. And from the contours, we're going to use the more curved shape from the second row, first column. And the angle, let's set it to 90 degrees. And then strength, we're going to make it 40. And let's rotate it around to see that awesome 3D curved shape that it created. So after that's all set, what we want to do next is apply textures to this 3D structure. What we're going to do is on the 3D panel, we're going to click on Vector Smart Object. On the properties menu, it's going to give us this new diagram that we could control. What we want to do is we're going to click on that arrow downwards on that circle 3D bubble. We're going to scroll down to this checkered like pattern. So once we click on that, it applied that 3D effect all around the structure, and you can see where things curve and mimic that checkered like shape. So when the texture is applied, it's going to mimic that as well. So let's set the metallic to all the way high because we want that really chrome-like effect. The texture is blending in with the white background, so we're going to set the background to black so we can see the texture a little bit better. So after that, we want to apply some images onto that texture shape. So let's scroll down on the menu, and on the way bottom, on the bottom right, there's going to be environment. Let's click on that little icon, and we're going to click on edit texture, and it's going to give us this really crazy diagrams, but don't pay attention to it. Just copy and paste any image you want on top of that, and make sure to command save it so it'll update to that original artboard. So I have some images saved that I found on Google, and I just typed in reflective room for 3D model texture space. So I'm going to drag in this one and then command save that, and as you can see, it directly affected that texture, and it's already looking really cool and chrome like. But let me show you what happens if I put in other images. The results are going to be drastically different, so definitely play around and see which one best suits your needs. So looking back on the reference, what's really cool about it is it's not perfectly straight. It's a little tilted, so the lighting really shines on the edges. So what we want to do is try to mimic that with this effect as well. And what's cool about 3D is we can rotate this model until we have something that we like. So I'm just gonna play with the perspective and rotate things all around. Rotating things on Photoshop can be a little tricky because of the small icons, so just be wary of that and play around until we have something you like. And as you can see on the left hand side, as we rotate it, the light kind of shines more on the left. So what we want to do is play around with the Z space, the rotating degrees, and we're just going to rotate the model until that lighting has a nice high contrast shine on the left hand side. And that black background really helps to see where that light reflects, and just take your time and just choose an angle that you really like where the lighting feels good and the shadows and the reflection areas. So that's looking really cool in terms of the shading, the lighting, and how it looks like on that nice black high contrast background. Let's hide the background so it's transparent, and we're going to export it as a PNG. And then we're going to drag that back into Photoshop again and play with the lighting. What's really cool about Photoshop is that we can tweak things, heighten the contrast, lower the contrast, and bring things that are hidden upwards. So we're going to go to Layers, New Adjustment Layer, and click Curves. We're going to press OK. So let's put that curve layer up on top, and let's play with the curve so that we can bring up some details that were hidden from the 3D effect that we couldn't really control. And we're gonna just tweak a little bit. That left dot really brings up that contrast and makes everything more legible. And then we're gonna play with the hue and saturation. So we're gonna go to Layers, New Adjustment Layers, and then hit Hue and Saturation. And from the reference we're working off of, it has a little bit of a blue tint, so let's mimic that as well. Let's check Colorize so it affects the whole artwork, and we're gonna play with scrubbing through the blue area, and let's lower that saturation so it's not as intense. And the last thing we want to do is do the brightness and contrast. So we're gonna hit Layer, New Adjustment Layer again, and we're gonna hit Brightness and Contrast. And this will allow us to just fine-tune the lighting, and it's going to make the artwork stand out a bit more with clarity, and that's looking really cool. So yeah, that's it. It's not exactly 100% replication of the designer because he used that really cool Blender 3D software, but from Photoshop standpoint, I think it fits the needs that we're trying to do. So hope you enjoyed this breakdown. If there's any design styles that you want me to break down, please leave a comment down below and I'll make sure to do a video about that. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like. If you want to see more videos like these, please subscribe. I'll greatly appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.